Hello and welcome to Angler Journals. Today's tutorial is going to cover creating a journal entry. From any tab, from any page, you hover over the Journal Entries tab and you select Create Journal Entry. The Create Journal Entry page has a lot of different fields in it. There's only one required field, and that's the journal entry title. All other fields are strictly optional. So we'll go through each field one by one and we'll cover any details necessary about each one. So we'll start off with a title and we'll call this Tutorial Journal Entry. We'll give it a date. We'll say we were fishing yesterday on May 1st. The start time was 7 a.m. and the end time was 7 p.m. The water temperature was 50 degrees and the water visibility was half a foot. And the species caught, we'll say that we caught walleye today. So I'll select the walleye checkbox. Now the species caught field is actually an application setting that you can set that allows you to automatically have the species selected when you go to create a journal entry. And to do that, you go to My Preferences, Application Settings, and I'm going to open it in a new tab for the purposes of this tutorial. And you come down to the default fish species application setting option and you go through and you select your species. And I'm going to select, we'll select walleye. Let's see here, where's it at? Walleye, tiger muskie, and sturgeon. Now once I've selected the items, I click Save Setting, and once the successfully updated message is sent, I can then go in and create a journal entry, and those fish species will be automatically populated for me. As you can see, there are 3 selected, and they are sturgeon, tiger muskie, and walleye. We'll go back to our journal entry. And the next field is body of water fished. So I'm going to select Minnesota, and I'm going to go down to the text box, and I'm going to start typing, and this will start filtering down a list of locations. So I'm going to go Mississippi River Pool 2. That's where we fished today. If you don't see your body of water listed as you start typing, what you can do is you can add a new body of water. And I'm going to select Minnesota, and I'm going to enter the name of the lake. We'll call it Tutorial Lake, and then I'm going to click the Save button. And now it's automatically selected for me. The interesting thing about this is that Tutorial Lake now got added to the global list of lakes for Minnesota. So when you add a new body of water, everybody else on the application also gets to use that body of water to assign to their journal entries going forward. The body of water fished field is also an application setting that you can set to have automatically populated when you come into the Create Journal Entries page as well. So to do that, you go up to My Preferences, Application Settings, and you find the default journal entry location. You select your state, Minnesota, and I'm going to go Mississippi River Pool 2 and select it, and I'm going to click Save Setting, and that will automatically save my setting. I should point out, once you start typing in this list, in order to select an item, you can use the down key to select the one you want, and then hit enter when you're on the one that you want to select, or you can use your mouse to hover over the item and select it as well. Now that I've set my default body of water, the next time I come in to create a journal entry, it'll automatically be selected for me. The next fields are the waypoint fields. This is where you would upload your waypoint files. So you'd have to select the manufacturer. Mine was automatically selected for me as Humminbird because, again, there's an application setting where I can set my default manufacturer, so I don't have to set it every single time I come in here. There are 2 spots because a lot of people run 2 units in their boat, one at the bow, one at the console. So this just allows you to upload 2 files while you're creating the journal entry. If you want to come back in and upload a 3rd one, you can simply edit the journal entry, come in, and upload a 3rd or 4th waypoint file and associate it with your journal entry. So I'm going to upload a waypoint file from my desktop. I've got a Humminbird waypoint file right here. I'm going to open it. Okay, it is now selected, so now when I click save, it'll upload that file. number of fish caught. We'll say today was a good day. I caught 15 walleyes. The next field are the sharing options. The sharing options depict whether or not you want to share this journal entry with anybody and what, if any, information you want to share with people. So for the purposes of this journal entry, I'm going to share all the information with the group blah blah, just for demonstration purposes. But if I didn't want to share this, I just wouldn't check the share entry checkbox. Now, if you decide to share the entry, you have a couple of options. You can choose to share the waypoints and share the photos, as well as the text-based information like the description, the water temps, the title, the date, time, so on and so forth. I can choose to share the waypoints or not share the waypoints, and I can choose to share the photos or not share the photos. I'm going to share everything with this group, so I'm going to check the check all box. This kind of allows you some granular sharing options for each group that you belong to. Okay, I'm going to close the window. The next field is the moon illumination percentage. As you can see, it's already populated a value for me. When I selected a date and time, it will automatically populate the moon illumination percentage if I also have a default time zone set. The default time zone is another application setting that I can set to have automatically populated for me when I come into the Create Journal Entry page. So otherwise, what I would have to do is select time zone would be the one selected, and I would just select the one that I want. So we do Eastern, and we'll do Hawaii just so you that it will change. Well, almost like Central, and it's going to be 64% illuminated. The next field is the weather data. So at Angler's Journal, or Angler Journals, we will go out and automatically retrieve the hourly weather data for the day that you were out. We can go retrieve this weather data one of two ways. We can use the latitude and longitude from one of your coordinates to go retrieve the weather, or you can set the coordinates yourself. For our purposes, just for the demo, I'm going to set the weather location. Even though I've uploaded waypoints, I'm going to set it myself. So I'm going to click on the set weather location, and I'm going to zoom in on the map to where I want. So we were fishing, we'll just say we were fishing Mille Lacs Lake, just for giggles. I'm going to right click on the map, and there's going to be this dialog that shows up. And I'm going to click select location. And now that's recorded the latitude and longitudes of where I clicked, and we're going to go out and retrieve the weather for that location. The next two fields are the river data. I can click this Get River Data button, and one thing you'll notice is that when the dialog pops up, it's already got the river flow data brought in for me for Mississippi River at St. Paul. So that's the river gauge. It did this because in my application settings, I have selected a default river gauge. If you are unfamiliar with how to set a default river gauge, refer back to the Introduction to Your Dashboard tutorial to learn how to set that application setting. So I'm going to select the value for when I was out there. We'll go 5-1, and we'll just say we're going to select 2:30 in the afternoon yesterday for my days. So once I select the value or a row, what happens is it automatically inserts the data for me. This is nice so that I don't have to go out to NOAA or river gauges or wherever you may get your river data from and enter the fields in here manually. It will automatically populate it for you. Now alternatively, you can select a different state and then select a different river gauge, and this will populate, and then you'll be able to select the river data that you want. So you don't have to set the application setting. You can just choose the river gauge via the list here as well. The next field is the description. So we'll give this a description. This was a good day despite the cold, rainy weather. So that's going to be our description for this journal entry. And I'm allowed to upload 5 photos per journal entry. So we'll go and grab our pics. I'm going to upload 4 of them here. And then I'm going to click Save Journal Entry. So I've entered in all the fields that I want here now. And I'm going to go click Save Journal Entry at the bottom of the page. If I've uploaded 5 very large photos, saving might take some time because the server has to download those images from your PC. So just let it spin and do its thing. Okay, so our journal entry has been created. Now we get moved over to the View Journal Entries page with the new journal entry we created selected for us automatically. And now I can scroll down and view the information for this journal entry. And that's how you create a journal entry.